And I am live. Woohoo! Omnimatter ergo logos inanna naki aika. Omnimatter ergo logos inanna naki aika. Omnimatter ergo logos inanna naki aika. Please help us have a great day and help us. Hopefully you can hear me. Help us get to the golden age and become the best versions of ourselves if possible. I'm wondering if there's some lights I can turn on in here. Hold on one second. Hey, Aaron, how's it going? All right. That's fine. I was trying to turn on the lights, but I couldn't. I didn't see which one. Yeah, if it was working. Thanks. All right. Thank you. The noise doesn't really bother me either way. It's fine. Thank you.
I'll just kind of curve it a little bit for you.
Thanks. I am doing great, Aaron. Thanks for asking. Today is pretty nice weather outside, but it's a little bit windy, so I am inside again. I wanted to show you the mountain, but it's too hard to see through the window. That sucks. Anyways, I wanted to start off by reading from the Gospel of the Holy 12. Maybe I should move because it's kind of hard to see me with the glow. Ooh, you can almost see Mount Shasta there. Okay. So, hey Sonia, how's it going? Lection 21 of the Gospel of the Holy 12 is the Christ rebuking cruelty to a horse. And it came to pass that the Lord departed from the city and went over the mountains with his disciples. And they came to a mountain whose ways were steep, and there they found a man with a beast of burden. But the horse had fallen down, for it was overladen, and he struck it until the blood flowed. And Christ went to him and said, Son of cruelty, why strikest thou this beast? Seest thou not that it is too weak for its burden, and knowest thou not that it suffereth? But the man answered and said, What hast thou to do therewith? I may strike it as much as it pleaseth me, for they are of mine acquaintance. It is mine, and I bought it with a goodly sum of money. Ask them who are with thee, for they are of mine acquaintance, and know thereof. So basically, he's saying it's my horse, and I'll beat it if I want to. And some of the disciples answered and said, Yeah, Christ, it is as he saith. We have seen when he bought it. And the Lord said again, See ye not that how it bleateth, and hear ye not also how it waileth and lamenteth? But they answered and said, Nay, Lord, we hear not that it waileth and lamenteth. And the Lord was sorrowful and said, Woe unto you, because of the dullness of your hearts. Ye hear not how it lamenteth and crieth unto the heavenly Creator for mercy, but thrice woe unto him against whom it crieth and waileth in its pain. And he went forth and touched it, and the horse stood up, and its wounds were healed. But to the man he said, Go now thy way, and strike it thenceforth no more, if thou also desireth to find mercy. And it continues on. And seeing the people come unto him, the Christ said unto his disciples, Because of the sick I am sick, because of the hungry I am hungry, because of the thirsty I am athirst. He also said, I love this, I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood. And if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God will not cease from you. I love that. Even as it came to your fathers in the wilderness who lusted for flesh. This is referencing Numbers 33. It's an interesting verse about the Israelites being in the wilderness, and they were basically, God was giving them manna on the daily, right? This bready type substance, more like, and they were crying because they didn't have the flesh of the innocents, and basically God caused all of these quails to just fall all around their plagues, like quails for days. And when they picked up the quail and tried to eat it, when it was still in their teeth, they were all struck dead. Like, I kind of find that really cool. It's instant karma. But anyways, that's what this is referencing. Even the wrath of God shall not cease from you, even as it came to your fathers in the wilderness who lusted for flesh, and they eat to their content and were filled with rottenness, and the plague consumed them. Oh no, my connection is unstable. Hopefully everything is still coming through. One of the topics that is really, everybody is talking about is the experiments that Fauci, okay, perfect, thank you. Experiments that Fauci was doing on dogs, and, it's not even Fauci themselves that's actually doing the experiment. Fauci and even Gates, they're kind of these people that are put into public, people, I use that term loosely because they're hybrids, but the certain entities are put into the public to give us targets, right? So we can all focus our hate on one entity when really it's like, that entity is just kind of the forefront person. They're not really in control. They don't really have that much power. But it's really interesting because so many people keep talking against, the animal abuse and not realizing that they themselves are often funding animal abuse as well. Whether you eat animals, obviously that is abusive, but so many products are tested on animals. Makeup is tested, well, not every brand, obviously. A lot of brands have makeup that's tested on animals. There's pictures that you can see on the internet of them like putting mascara on bunnies and their eyes, like getting serious issues from this makeup testing. But not only the makeup testing, also like household cleaners, they will have dogs in cages and put the bleach or whatever in a bowl to make sure that it's safe. What will happen if the dog consumes it or whatever, So many household cleaning products are tested on animals, and obviously the pharmaceutical industry tests on animals as well. One of the examples that I give is that to test new burn creams, I've seen videos of them actually torching animals, like causing really severe burns, and then trying to see how effective their new burn cream is. Obviously, I'm really it fires me up about animal testing. Like, if you want to put a new product on the market, you go and test it out yourself to see what happens on yourself before you try it on anybody else. Like, obviously, we know that the powers that be aren't going to test on themselves, though. They have plenty of willing victims. How many people have gone, not for one jab, not for two, but 3 and what, now 4? Crazy. They were talking about starting tests on children now as well. There's a lot of posts going on about children. Children don't have myocarditis or whatever the heck they're saying, and blood clots. But heart issues coming about in little children, after they get jabs. And of course, people are still going to say, oh, they're not connected at all. And they're going to be fudging the numbers like they have been since the beginning. Bombaclat Gaddowfish says, right, like the Jabba Doobadoo is responsible for animal torture and death as well. Absolutely. And even the contents of jabs, some of them being like grown in egg cultures and stuff like that, monkey DNA, all these disgusting things that, we've been shown that are in many vaccines, right? Crazy. It's going to be really sad. One of the things when it comes to jabbing children and this whole, if you as a mother, you want to do what's best for your child, and they have manipulated mothers into believing that what is best for the child is to come in and get jabbed. And it's just it's really sad to me because I understand the mentality of a mother. I obviously want to do what's best for my own future children. And if I was the reason that they, couldn't have a child in the future, or that they got Down syndrome or autism or anything like that, if I had done something to cause that to happen, I would feel horrible. And obviously all mothers do. And that's one reason why many of us are so passionate about speaking out against these things because we want to warn. If I can just save one child from being jabbed, one little boy from being circumcised, like one person from anything, everything that I do is worth it. So thank you guys for being here. Being heavily shadow banned, which is kind of irritating, but understandable. Okay. Sonia says, true. I am aware and doing more to buy products not animal tested. That's awesome. That's great. Unfortunately, they try to, it's just like the corruption agenda. They try to sneak corruption into everything. So it is hard to get away from everything completely. Even your car, your computer, your phone, it has products in it that aren't vegan. Like, we can't get away from these things completely at this point in time, but we can do our best. And in the future, we can do better. I heard actually a rumor about a vegan computer. I never looked into it, obviously. I'm not really looking to buy a new computer at this point, but it's going to be interesting to see. Unfortunately, as technology progresses, things are getting worse over time, right? You used to have, better and worse at the same time, right? We used to have these like giant dinosaur phones that you could run over with a car and it's still fine. And now, if this phone didn't have a case, well, it still has a case and the phone still cracks, so never mind. Things are getting worse over time on purpose, and it's kind of with everything, not just technology, but also jabs. It's like the first jab is going to be like level 1. Then the next jab is going to be a little bit more damaging, then a little bit more damaging, and all of this accumulative damage. People are going to say, oh, I was fine with the first one, but then, they go in for the second one and then they get really hurt. It's like, because they're being made worse over time. Duh. Anyways, Bob says, is it fair to say that this is Shakespearean English? Shakespearean refers to anything that resembles or relates to the works of William Shakespeare. This Gospel of the Holy 12 is not related to Shakespeare from what I've seen, if that's what you're referring to. But I do like the, old worldly type language that they use in there. I think that this one says that this was published by Reverend G.J. Ousley. So I'm not sure who that is. I personally don't look into, I don't really care who wrote it. I just want the book in my hand so I can read it because it changed my life. And I don't follow the book blindly either. I think that there are, like anything that we have in English, any religious texts, any scrolls are going to be corrupt because, they were translated into English. By whom? I don't trust the people translating. I guess I have trust issues. But when you wake up and realize that we're literally surrounded by inverted clowns and we've been deceived about pretty much everything, I think that trust issues are, a normal thing for humans to have. And it's really sad because so many truthers, this is another thing, so many truthers are going crazy about Nicki Minaj and Ice Cube and this whole stupid Let's Go Brandon thing. And falling prey to controlled opposition psyops. Like, they try to control every side of the opposition, the argument. So of course they're going to have, anti-jab celebrities stand up and, no matter how much truth they speak, don't fall for their crap. It's a ploy. It's an act. It's done for a purpose. And that is something I'm really passionate about speaking out against. I don't care what these celebrities say. They're all inverted clowns. And at the end of the day, they're there to corrupt us. So, them telling you a good thing, it's like, okay, what's the other hand doing? Like, what is your actual agenda for actually saying something that helps humanity when you are an anti-human, non-human invert? These clowns are not pro-human. Trump is not pro-human. So it's really sad that so many people think that this clown is, going to save America and all of this other stuff. None of these celebrities are to be trusted. If they are an invert, they are a corrupter and a deceiver. Someone in the group was trying to say we need to figure out which clowns are good and which are bad. It's like, no, if you are an invert, you by being in that position, by being on Team Satan, you fall under the contract that Yah has with Satan, and that is a contract to corrupt. Satan has to corrupt us. That's what his literal job is. And, it's all about the bigger picture. Some people don't really understand that. But if there wasn't this element added, the storyline wouldn't get progressed, and ultimately wisdom wouldn't be gained. So that's kind of the whole purpose of why Sophia becomes physical matter, why she goes through all of the abuse, because she's seeking wisdom. And you can only gain so much wisdom when you're in like a Garden of Eden type scenario. Something else has to happen to add some new element to the story. So Bomaclat says we must keep elevating ourselves and the world will have to change for the better as a result. Stay strong, everybody. Absolutely. Hopefully you guys are, I do my weekly dry fasting. I started yesterday, doing the dry fasting, starting at midnight on Saturday or midnight on Friday, and then ending midnight on Saturday. So hopefully you guys will be able to join me the next week. But that is part of, elevating ourselves, purifying ourselves, and changing ourselves. And when other people around us notice, they're like, hey, why does that girl seem to be getting younger and prettier instead of, older and uglier? It's like, well, they're going to want to know what I do and why I am the way that I am. Then I can tell them and hopefully inspire them to do the same. Aaron says, I think Shakespeare is Francis Bacon. I think I have heard that as well. I don't have an opinion either way. I never actually really looked into it. Yes. Bob says, make no mistake that I am well aware of my disadvantage about not having read many of the extra biblical texts. Consider that Shakespeare in English is more spiritual than our vernacular. Yes. Our whole language has been dumbed down, and, it's getting worse over time. Crazy. But it's really interesting about the extra biblical texts, like the 66 scrolls that were chosen by the Council of Nicaea, were amongst a bunch of other scrolls. So they picked and choose, copy and paste this here and here to outline what their religion would be. And, stuff in the back of the book contradicts stuff in the front of the book. Like, okay. But that doesn't mean that I am anti-God or whatever you guys want to say. Not you guys, but whatever people want to say, right? That if you say you don't believe in the Bible or something, they assume that you're an atheist or something crazy. It's like, no, you can still believe in God and even the Christ, but not believe the mainstream narrative about the situation. So, Sonia said, might you read more such texts on the regular? I enjoy. I do want to probably start opening my Sunday chats with a little passage from that because I really just love that book so much. But yeah, Fabrice actually asked me to suggested to maybe do some separate reading. So I will definitely consider doing that in the future. Hey, Harmon Walker, how's it going? Hello, chat and Queen and Honest Note. I hope to learn from this channel today, like always. Yay, thanks for joining us. Might be able to hear the wind out there. It's kind of a bummer because the sun's really bright and it'd be nice to sit out there, but it's going to be too cold. Aaron says, Bacon was supposed to be someone honest. Perhaps he related what language back to the old world. Masons do this. They claim something of their own, but was from another culture or group. Yeah, well, that's Satanists' MO in general. Basically go in and take what other people see, a group of humans, and infiltrate and then corrupt them from within. Take whatever signs and symbols that they use and then demonize it. For instance, the pentacle star within a circle was used by early Christians as a sign of protection. And obviously now it's like Christians are like, no, that's satanic. It's like it was used more widely by Christians than the cross was. So perhaps learn your history. But that's one thing that I'm really passionate about. One of the many things is actually going to the original meanings of these things and, basically restoring them, taking them back to their former glory and not jumping on the demonization train, I guess. Most of the truthers that I interact with, they just see the satanic aspect of it and don't look underneath to see that Satanists have demonized these things and that they don't belong to Satanists. Baphomet, for example, an occult symbol for Sophia. She is all physical matter, from the rocks to the trees to the birds and the bees to you and me. So her being symbolized as this part human, part animal, part male, part female thing makes sense when you understand what the actual symbol was meaning, and that it has nothing to do with what Satanists are trying to promote, which is the inversion, and that's because they worship Satan. It's funny, they say, oh, it's Baphomet, oh, it's Lucifer, oh, it's Baal, it's all these other deities but Satan. Definitely not the truth, obviously. Satan gets his minions to blame everybody else. They blame Freemasons, blame Jesuits, blame the Jews, blame everything else but Satanists, the ones that are actually doing it. And, you know, the ones that are truly, truly Satanists are inverted. Obviously, you know, you have the, you know, mainstream Satanists, if you will, that say, oh, Satan doesn't exist. He's just a representation of everything that the church, you know, whatever the heck they say on the Church of Satan website. That's mainstream Satanism that's been watered down to get the masses to jump on the bandwagon, right? You can't, well, I mean, I guess you probably could, but for the most part, people aren't going to jump on the bandwagon if you go around saying, hey, anybody want to go and praise the adversary of humanity, the one who corrupts you and turns you into a clown? Like, you might get some stupid people to go jump on the bandwagon, but probably not the majority. So they definitely have to water down their message to get people to be mainstream Satanists. And they want to just do it as this like rebellion thing against church or whatever. So like, all right, you can rebel in a lot better ways than that. The real Siddhartha says, hi, Inanna, I love you. Thanks. You helped me a lot. I create my own YouTube channel and I just need everyone to watch this one video. Nice. What's the video about? Aaron says, politicians equal glorified public servants. LOL. Idol worship is terrible today, is it not? And like I was mentioning earlier, even in the truther community, it's like they will fall for, not everybody, I guess, but so many people will fall for anyone that speaks the truth. It's quite sad. So, get away from me, fly. Of course, it's 666. LOL, they love that number. Well, 3 is the magical number, and well, usually it's 3 by 3 by 3, 6 by 6 by 6, 9 by 9 by 9. Tesla talks about the power of 369. These numbers can ultimately be used for good or evil, and most of you guys already know that, so that's great. Aaron, yes, what I was reading earlier was from the Essenes, the Gospel of the Holy 12, and it was lection 21? 21, yes. Okay, they corrupted Masonry too and Jesuits. Most people are unaware. Jesuits used to be against the secret societies, absolutely. In regards to the Masonry, if you look into James Churchward's book, The Lost Continent of Mu, Motherland of Man, yes, I know I've repeated this to some people, but it talks about Freemasonry being the first religion of man, and how humans worship the great architect of our realm, and some really beautiful symbols and stuff. And obviously, over time, it's going to be corrupted and demonized. I haven't really looked too much into the Jesuits myself, but I do know that their history has definitely been, muddled. Presley Bilderberg says, I love listening to you, my queen. I watch by the sidelines. Continues success. Thank you. I'm glad you could say hi. Satanists hide behind all groups. Aaron says, absolutely. Yes. The real Siddhartha says, it's just the answer to all your questions in response to what is the video about, but you don't know what my questions are. So how do you know that they're going to answer my questions? Do you want to share a link to your thing there? Okay. Aaron says, I think Tesla was a fictional character, but I have a solid footing on this quite yet. More research is needed. Thanks for confirming the readings books. Well, that's an interesting thing, and I don't know either way. But the picture of Tesla on the beach with their cousin or something really weird. They definitely look. Isn't that what I said? No solid footing, or did I just read it wrong? Sorry. What was I gonna say? Anyways, Tesla's on the beach with his cousin or something like that, and looking really girly. So if you think Tesla might be a fictional character, who do you that role was played by somebody, or how the pictures are made up that are Tesla, or what? That's an interesting thing. I've not really heard about it, but I do like the Hegelian dialectic that they created with Tesla and Einstein, calling Einstein's theory of relativity this beggar that blind men take for a king or something. It's pretty cool. The real Siddhartha says, just watch, trust me like I trust you. I have trust issues. I already said that at the beginning, but I might check it out when I get home. So put the link in here so other people can see it. Herman Walker says, Aaron, the reason I lean to Tesla being just a character is the lack of pictures of him. Very few. Okay. Aaron says, like you say, multiple people playing a character. I think he's a character, not a real genius. Okay. Yes, I would agree with that. Yes. Okay. Yeah, not like a genuine person, but more like a controlled opposition. Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Kev Fortuna, how's it going? Guys, having trouble with the door. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, let me actually post that picture of Tesla on the beach so you guys can see what I'm looking. And the person that he's with looks ultra manly as well. Tesla human, not a Tesla car. Why would I care about a stupid Tesla car? Okay. Link to the Tesla picture that I am referring to. Okay. The real Siddhartha said I did. They might block it though. Just go on the channel if the link doesn't work. All right, sounds good. So yeah, I also had some topics here that I wanted to discuss with you. I write notes throughout the week of things that I want to talk about. So we kind of touched base on the Fauci animal testing and how many people actually fund animal testing themselves. They literally eat animals 3 times a day, and then they want to say, oh, Fauci's so evil because he tested on dogs. It's like, listen, buddy, you're pointing fingers and you're evil too. You are just as guilty of doing what they are doing. Like, you might not have dogs' heads in a little basket getting eaten by flies, but you have paid for a baby cow to be separated from its mother, to be raped and milked and used and abused until it dies. So how is that even different? Animal abuse is animal abuse. Okay. Aaron says JFK was another one. He was no hero. Yes, thank you. That was a ploy or plot to discourage the American people, making them feel powerless, a Masonic creation, a false hero, if you will. Yes, every now and then they give us these fake heroes. JFK was involved with the moon landing or something to do with space. Reagan is another one that they say is such a great president, but they were involved with the space deception, and they signed the National Vaccine Injury Act. You want to say that the best president ever was the one that, not you, but I don't know, some people, I guess my own family, if I asked them, they'd probably say Reagan. Well, they might actually say Trump nowadays. But yeah, all of these presidents, some of them appear to be heroes. Every now and then they give us a hero. And with the whole Trump psyop, I've talked about this before, how, can you flap off? Okay. Sorry, there's a fly that's bothering me. What was I saying? Every now and then they gave us a hero to pacify us. And with the Trump thing, they woke people up to the government corruption while at the same time saying, don't worry, Trump's taking care of it. So they're giving you, one pill while giving you the other at the same time so that you're half woke. It's really ridiculous. Kennedy is a big name in the royal bloodlines, well known, absolutely. And the Kennedy curse, these supposed assassinations are all faked deaths. And that's another thing. It's like JFK faked their own death, and you want to try to tell me that they're a hero. Sonia says that she agrees with Aaron, presumably regarding JFK. Aaron says, there you go. The VA said it all good. Point, Anana. Yes. Presley said, I got a 12-hour suspension from Twitter for talking about Tesla and free energy. So I must be on the right path. I have talked about free energy before as well. It's simply a matter of tuning into the right frequency. And that's definitely something. Oh, VIA. Okay. Definitely something I want to work on for the future. Basically, you've seen the different, let's see. There's a lot of things going on around here today. It's like gotten a lot more popular since I come here now. There were these pictures of these old, little grids of bars and stuff that are on buildings. I'm not really seeing it right now. But basically, the spacing between these two metal pieces, once you find out the correct distance that they're supposed to be apart, you can actually kind of tell from the pictures. You can literally harvest the free energy, and it's actually kind of like listening to mother's heartbeat, and it's pretty cool. I really look forward to the technology of the future, free wireless Wi-Fi technology that doesn't hurt us. Like, we're literally like, people are not you guys necessarily, but it's like people that are getting the latest phones and the latest technology. It's like they're working their butts off to pay for this technology that's being made crappier than the ones before it, and that's hurting them. Humans are silly. Okay. Rigged5 says, am I blocked? I see your post there, Rigged5, so no. Aaron said, correcting himself, there you go, VIA. Yes. For sure, Presley. But yeah. Presley, they made you delete your post on Twitter? What was the actual post about that you got banned from? It's interesting. Kev Fortuna says, horrible news, I know. One thing you can't talk about is Fauci or Gates. I would not shoot up their embryos. Yes. Well, like I was kind of saying before, Fauci and Gates are kind of just these front people that are put in the public eye to be targets, so that we have, everybody can focus their hate on this one entity, and, they could potentially, just say, oh guys, everything, let's just blame Fauci for everything. And then they could have some sort of like live pretend execution and just completely manipulate humans. Like, they'd all be sitting at home cheering for this fake execution. Like, yeah. Even I've talked before about the execution lists from the QAnon and the Transvestigation Disclosure Group. I have gone through one of these lists and found, a few celebrities that are on the list that say they're executed. You go and take pictures of them from 2014 or 15. You go and take pictures of them from 2021, and they're the same exact character. So it disproves the whole theory that anybody's being executed, that anybody's being arrested, and any of that. It's like Satanists aren't cleaning up themselves, okay? Well, I guess to a certain extent they are, but they're not arresting and executing each other. KG Jr. says, hello. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Aaron says, Tesla generator DIY online. Huh. Is it a YouTube video or like a text? 333, woohoo. That'd be interesting to see the generator thing. One of the other things I kind of mentioned in passing before was that there's like, they're trying to pass a bill to basically rid California of gasoline, like no gas cars, no gas generators, no like ATVs even. So yeah, they're trying to make Mount Shasta, the root chakra, as unpleasant as possible to drive the real humans away, so that all that's left here is the really wealthy inverted clowns that are going to make the root chakra vibration go down even more. Kev Fortuna says the issue is they do not suggest new tech. What do you mean? Let me see what we're saying here. Okay. Harmon Walker says, I hear a lot of people say that the powers are hiding God or the plain earth. In my opinion, I think they are hiding the ether first and its power, and then the earth and God fall into place. It's definitely, it's plausible, obviously, because the ether, I mean, technically our souls are made out of ether. So hiding the spiritual world, hiding that aspect, you know, what they do, right? They try to tell you that you are a meaningless, evolved monkey living in a giant spinning ball, that there's no heaven, there's no hell. And when you die, it's just lights out the end. So yeah, I would agree that they're hiding, you know, the ether, the spiritual world, being more on the lines of interchangeable things, since our souls are made out of ether. Sonia says, trying to cut them off at the knees. Yep. Aaron says they are hiding the overall picture 100%, Aaron Walker. Yes, I agree about the flat plane. They want people. Sorry, somebody is here. David Banner. Don't come in here with that garbage. They're all hiding the overall picture. Yes. So one of the reasons, like, not only, like, I guess there's multiple reasons for this. Ultimately, like I was saying, Satan's contract is to corrupt. So the deception, you know, it's going to be harder to corrupt the original humans who are aware that there's a spiritual world. They know that there's, you know, that they're being watched and judged. They know that what the actions that they take are going to either, you know, have good consequences or bad consequences. But in the current society that we have, Satan's taken all that away, right? I don't know if it's the majority of people. I guess even some Christians believe in, like, evolution and stuff. So I don't know how, you know, so many people are convinced that they are evolved slime living on a giant spinning ball, and that life is essentially meaningless. You just try to get to the top of the corporate ladder, and don't worry if you step on everybody on the way up, and then you die. Doesn't that sound really encouraging? Thankfully, like, I grew up in a mainstream Christian household. So I've always known that there was a creator. I was taught from a young age creation. And so I've always thought, like, evolution was the stupidest thing that anybody could even come up with. Like, you want me to think that the snowman outside just happened to form because of random falling snowflakes? That's just not how any of this works. So, you know, evolution and the whole depression, I think, that comes from people having that hopelessness, like not knowing that there's going to be an afterlife, right? It's like every death that you experience, every loved one that you lose, it's like it's going to be extra painful because you think death is the end, right? It's not like you have a hope of seeing them again in the future, or even my beliefs, like not only just seeing them in the spiritual world again, but coming into this world again as a child to my mom, like starting the whole process over again. So yes, I do believe in reincarnation, and some souls, you know, choose not to come in. We play a game of consent ultimately. So if you don't want to come in, you don't have to. If you would rather stay out there and watch, then okay. But I personally, it's like, I want to come in and do what I do. It's what I'm doing here with you guys. Thanks for joining me. This is what my soul came here to do, to YouTube lives. Who would have known? All right. Kev Fortuna says, I have a terrible delay. Are you able to jump forward on the screen, or is it because of, is it on my end? Hopefully not. Okay. New energy is suppressed. Okay. Yes, I agree. And new ideas, new technology, absolutely. Truth in general. If they can't control you, you know, they do everything to try to control us. They ban us on Facebook. They shadow ban us. They disable our accounts. It's getting even worse and worse. Aaron says Darwinian crap. Absolutely. Darwinian crap. They all like, isn't it interesting how they, oh, if you don't get your jab, well, then Darwin will take care of you. It's like, first of all, Darwin's dead. Second of all, if that clown knew anything about genetics, it would know, I say it because it's probably an invert, it would have known that your DNA is constantly seeking to repair itself, to return to normal, to rid itself of any toxins or any impurities, which means, evolution isn't possible because you need things to change over time. You especially need speciation by mutation, and that has never, ever occurred. So, okay. Presley said, Tesla proved energy can travel through the airwaves. Yes. The needle vaccination incorporated with 5G will totally influence those that shot up. Thus, the rampant all humanity must be inoculated agenda. Well, I do agree that there is an agenda, but I think that it's like pestilence, famine, war, and death. That's the main goal, and they use these different weapons against us. So as far as pestilence goes, right, they put out the first virus, then they put out the variant, then they're using the jabs and stuff. So that I kind of personally all link that together. But then when you add the 5G towers to it, 5G in that microwave environment that it creates, viruses can thrive in that. So it kind of, both of them seek to make us sick and ultimately to depopulate us. Depopulation would be the ultimate agenda. But I have heard, them using the frequency weapons, right, to activate stuff that they were putting in with the jabs. And I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. Like, yeah. Aaron says, birth, death, rebirth. Yes, earthborn, earth, death, spiritual world, rebirth, repeat. Yes, and right along with that, today is Halloween, right? And obviously, when I was in the mainstream Christianity, I was like against all of these things because we're taught that they're evil. But when you look and see how the ancients actually, like what they actually believed and celebrated, apart from the satanic demonization of it all, it's really awesome to see, at this time, the earth is going through a cycle where we're at the harvest time, right? The end of the year is upon us, the veil is thinning, and it's a time for celebration. And that's what they celebrated, right? So all of these different holidays throughout the year, celebrating different, like fall and in Christmas time, Saturnalia, if you will. I really find it important to find the original meanings of these things. So, yeah. Presley says the banned tweet. I have a picture of the tweet. Okay. Are you on any other? Well, I guess you probably get banned from Facebook for posting it there too. It'd just be interesting to see what you actually wrote, Presley, that got banned. Hyman Walker says, I was watching the Amazon show Botch last night, season 5. His daughter's mother died. She was sitting with her friend recollecting about her mother. She told her friend that she thinks it is all in the ether. Huh. What she thinks that what is in the ether exactly? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Aaron says, send Darwin and the rest of these clowns. We'll banish them back to the underworld, right? It'd be nice to put them on stage and fry them first. Like, have a whole audience and just, rag on how stupid their theories are and make them look like a clown. That'd be fun. Sonia says, I also feel I'm caught in a loop. If I could truly choose to hop off the recycle belt, I really believe I might choose not to return here. I go back and forth. That's definitely understandable, especially when we come in as real humans. We decide to play it straight, if you will, right? There's two sides that you can play. You can either play it straight or you can play on Team Satan. You can come in, you can be born to a family that's going to invert you. Then you're going to be on a completely different track than the normal humans, right? Us normal humans, there's no fast track to riches and fame and fortune. You had to be in Satan's tracks to do that in his world. So for those of us who keep coming in here to play it straight, it's like we keep getting crushed down and used and abused, and it's like, how many more times do I got to do this? And even myself, it's like, why am I here? But if those of us who speak truth, if those of us who bear the light choose not to come into this world, then it's just going to continue to be a clown show and get darker and darker and darker and darker. And eventually Sophia's not going to even want to do this anymore because she doesn't want to be a clown. She'll be a clown temporarily for, part of the show to progress. But eventually she wants an awakening, and where humans can go into a golden age and not be clowns anymore, not be abused. Like, we need a whole just time, 1,000 years for just stop the abuse, stop the spraying of the skies, stop the improper farming practices, stop using plastics, stop everything, and just live the best we can in harmony with nature, using like hemp to replace all the plastics and so many other things, papers and everything, and like free energy technology and all of that, even using AI to serve us. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh no, AI. I used to feel that way as well. But like I said before, AI, the core programming is what matters. And I'm going to have to be able to trust the people that are actually making it before I can support it, because obviously I don't support any of the technology that the powers that be are making. Their AI is anti-human, but the AI that I'm talking about will be pro-human. So let's make sure we're completely separated on that. Herman Walker said, where did that just go? She was saying that life is in the ether. Okay. Well, I do agree with it being like the spiritual world and being all around us. Is like the physical and the spiritual world are very intertwined as well. So it's very important. Definitely something that people need to know more about, but it's not really spoken about that much either. Aaron says, happy Halloween, everyone who celebrates. I'm not celebrating. I'm not going out or anything. But I can appreciate the celebrations of the earth cycle. And, I think during the golden age, we need to have like certain celebrations and festivities and stuff to make life more enjoyable. But actually, like a Christmas celebration wouldn't be about Satan Claus, right? It would be about the actual reasons for the season. And one of the things about Christmas time is that if you get pregnant at Christmas time, you'll have Virgo baby. So I definitely encourage people to get pregnant at Christmas time if you're in a relationship. Presley said, do you have an email? I left Facebook years ago. Yes, inanasnow@hotmail.com. Eric says, how come no other animals have evolved into humanoids? Hi, Eric. How are you doing? And a great point. Great point. Don't they say that we're like evolved monkeys or something? Yeah. We just have to wait. It's like we haven't been around long enough. If we just wait, 10,000 years, then I'm sure it's going to happen. We just got to wait a little bit longer. Okay, Eric, hang in there. Science. Okay. I'm also on Instagram as well at Queen Inanna Snow. Aaron says, yeah, I get what you mean. I watch some older movies in HD now and understand their meanings much better. And there is truth in them, but most are usually unaware. It's coded. Absolutely. I admit that I like to watch movies. I like to see truth in plain sight. Aaron, I did download the Noah movie to watch, so I'm excited to check that out. I like to see the truth in plain sight, but obviously knowing that the actors and actresses are inverted is definitely problematic. Makes the experience less exciting and fun. Like, oh, those are inverts kissing. Oh, that is such a dude. That's such a girl. Like, okay. I follow your Instagram. I can post it if you want. Sure, you can send it to me on Instagram Messenger if you want. Monk Kermit says, I agree with you, Inanna. Thank you. Glad you could join. Kev Fortuna says, Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Is anybody here? Oh, I didn't know if he was asking me something. Okay. Is anybody here doing anything fun for Halloween? Unfortunately, the powers that be have definitely made humanity, for the most part, focus on, when the veil is lifting, instead of us focusing on positive things like angels and our ancestors and whatnot, it's like they want us to be focused on demons and chainsaw psychopaths and, other more lower vibrational things, right? So it's kind of interesting to see how, we know that the veil is lifting, but we kind of see how they've programmed us all, humanity in general, to manifest darkness at that time. And the complete opposite could be the exact, that could be our reality. If we were all encouraged to focus on angels and positive things during this time, the whole experience would be completely different. I remember as a child, we weren't allowed to celebrate Halloween. We never went trick-or-treating. The only one time that I dressed up as Halloween as a child that I remember, we went to this church function, and it was called Hallelujah Night, and I did dress up as an angel, so yay me. Okay. Aaron says, someone mentioned the other day in a post I read that Satan owns the digital AI anti-human, while the ether is more spirit. That's interesting. Well, obviously, Satan owns the current AI and the technology. And the thing with AI, though, is that the person that creates the AI, it's attached to their soul. So whatever that AI goes and does, the soul that created it is one that's going to have to pay for the actions of the AI. So, that Sophia AI that they have is like, I'm going to go kill humans. Okay, well, whoever created that robot, if it actually does that, well, they're the ones that's going to be paying for that karmic cost. So I guess that's kind of, nice to know, with all they try to scare us with all these robotic dogs and crazy killer technology. It's good to know that somebody will be held accountable. But yeah, Aaron, the AI is and the soul is linked to a certain extent, which is definitely interesting. I mean, we already kind of have, not kind of, we already do completely have black magic in our technology. I mean, the screen, when it turns off, it's black, right? This is a black screen. A black screen is used for scrying. So obviously that could be changed in the golden age, and just changed in general. Demons can just use our technology and mess with us, right? They can cause all sorts of technical issues, just get under our skin and irritate us. Obviously, they control Facebook, they control YouTube, they can suppress our message and do all this stuff. I can't wait to be free from their control. Okay. 1111 code. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Keb Fortuna says it is Osiris and Uranus, their struggle, directed by Saturn. Okay, I don't really subscribe to the names Osiris and Uranus, but I know that different religions have different names for entities, and I personally believe it's Satan, and I call him the creator Yah. And as far as Saturn goes, I believe Saturn is a symbol for the crone, the feminine divine in the crone phase. So that's interesting. Okay. 5 minutes delayed. Wow, that's irritating. Sonia says, I'm seeing all the holidays much differently now. It's weird for me yet. Yeah. It's still hard, to take back control of what the holidays used to be when we know that there are satanic sacrifices and all sorts of other darkness that goes along, with just, sorry, I'm did I put my key in my pocket? I might not be leaving here today. Okay, that's not good. Good. Enjoy the Noah movie. Watch till the end. It has a good ending. Okay, I definitely will. Not much here for Halloween in the country. Neighbors' kids may come over, but that's about it. Quiet out here. Halloween usually. I'm really panicking about my car key. Okay, that was really dumb. Well, I guess quiet is better than nothing. At one of the local bars, they were having a haunted brothel as their theme for Halloween. I'm like, ugh, why do we have to promote degeneracy? I can't stand that. Okay. Sonia says, I love watching movies now to spot all the info, deception, etc. Also weird for me, but definitely makes movies so much more interesting now. Exactly. Yes. Kev Fortuna says, the X Flare is here. I dislike Hallows Eve for personal reasons. Huh. Okay. I'm sure that a lot of people have had bad experiences on this. 1111 code says, I don't do Halloween. My Earth Day tomorrow. Oh, happy Earth Day. Earth Day birthday. Aaron says, I think Uranus is a Masonic joke. I agree completely, especially when we talk about, the wandering stars. Uranus is obviously a sodomite joke, right? And we know that these clowns are obsessed with sodomy. They have Uranus that was discovered when telescopes were invented. So before that, none of the ancients, you can go in their texts, like they only mentioned Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, because those are the ones you can see with your naked eye. So even some Eastern cultures today still only have that in their astrology, which I find is interesting. But anyways, Uranus was discovered when telescopes were invented. Neptune, as immature as it is, Neptute, like coming from Uranus with Pluto the dog running after. Like that's the level of immaturity that Satan is at. And this is a really old soul that we're talking about. So it's like, for a really old soul, you'd think that you would have grown up by now, don't you? But you're still making Uranus jokes and talking about farts and dogs sniffing them. Like, Eric says, I love your sarcasm. Yay. Me too. Some people, unfortunately, don't get it. Kev Fortuna says we should all own our own robot to program to go to work for us. Tell Bernie. I don't tell Bernie anything, but in the future, I completely think that robots should take over the everyday jobs that humans do so humans can be free. And even more than just doing the job at the restaurant or wherever you work, I want one in my own house. I want one to do the house chores. Like, I want to be able to enjoy life, not have to do cleaning and dishes all the time and cleaning clothes and all of this stuff. It's like, if I could have a robot to do all of that stuff and I could focus on what I actually want to do, that would be awesome. That would be a paradise for me. So that's definitely what I want to make for the future. Etymology reveals a lot. It sure does. Sonia says, my mind is open more daily. Yes, I agree with that. There's always something new to learn. Kev Fortuna says, Uranus was renamed Satan, different from Lucifer, children of Thoth. Okay. I'm not really into any of those belief systems myself. As far as Isis goes, there's only one Queen of Heaven, and she has gone by different names in different cultures. I stick more with the name it Nana myself. But yes, Queen, I sent 2 deleted tweets to your Instagram and email. Presley said, cool, thanks. I'll check those out when I get out of here if I can ever find my key. Don't panic, okay? It's got to be around here somewhere. Hiram Walker says, since you are the queen, it would be cool if you would go off of nature's lunar calendar. The first month will be the first day of spring. I do think that the lunar calendar would be more appropriate. The moon tells us what day of the month it is, what day of the month it is. And yes, not only that, yeah, like the whole idea of the new year beginning in the middle of winter, instead of like more when spring happens, when the world is literally coming to life, right? When it would be more natural to say that this is like the beginning of the new year. I think a lot of things need to change like that. And starting the day in the middle of the night, that's stupid. Why does midnight start the next day? obviously, and the time zones are different, but yeah. Okay. Israel, yes. The mother, son, father, mother, father, child trinity that has been repeated over and over again in many cultures. It's interesting because the trinity that's preached in, in the mainstream is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and we're told that these are all three guys. If you look into it, there are many of us that would claim that the Holy Spirit is actually feminine. So it would actually be a masculine divine, feminine divine, and the child. I love that. Aaron says indigo, okay. Emerald tablets cannot be proven as authentic, although we think those tablets do contain truth. The creator or inventor of them, which was an author, I think, Brian Scott on YouTube, speaks about this. Interesting. Like I was kind of saying earlier, I don't really care who wrote the book. And that kind of is to any book that I'm going to pick up. It's like I could care less about the author. I want to read the book and take what wisdom and what truth it has. That's really interesting that you're saying that the author or whatever, Brian Scott, I'll have to look that up later. Is the video talking specifically about the emerald tablets, that'll be interesting to look into. They do contain a lot of truth, but it's like so many religious texts contain truth. They wouldn't be able to, well, I guess I can't say they wouldn't be able to, but, if they just gave you a whole book of lies, it's going to be harder for you to go along and believe it than if they give you truth mixed with lies. And that's pretty much what all of the modern texts are doing. Harmon says, the reason I say this is because I'm so tired of this solar calendar and their dates bring me down with such negative waves. Yes. Well, they are also, manifesting this negativity. And it's not necessarily like, there's so many different factors to it. Obviously, like it's not just like one ritual that's taking place here or something on Halloween. It's like all over the earth when the veil is thinning. On these specific ley line points in particular, they've put slaughterhouses, right? So the negativity is amplified. And all of this, being combined together, all of the media stuff that's making us, more corrupt versions of ourselves, it's all going in together and adding to the problem. So I know that you guys already know this. 1111 code. Yes, I love that. And on a Trinity. I think that's one reason why I kind of went from thinking that I wanted to have a lot of kids to maybe just having one kid, child, I should say. People would be like, oh my gosh, a kid's a baby goat. I was like, calm down. Yeah. Anyways, emerald tablets. Oh yes, the emerald one. I have read a little bit of the emerald tablets, but not really. It wasn't really my calling. Probably a little bit having to do with the way that I was raised, obviously being in that mainstream Christian group, I guess. And then coming through, I found the Essenes in the Gospel of the Holy 12, and that's what I really resonate with, the purification teachings. Now, if that was in the Emerald Tablets, that's awesome. I would love to, see that and hold on to that truth as well. But obviously, I went into the Essenes path myself. Aaron says, no, he's done the research and dated it back to the origins, as have others, but it was based off an author who was into science fiction. Okay. That's really interesting. Huh. Gotta wonder how many books are like that. But like I was saying, at the same time, these books can still have really great truths in it, even if the author isn't like, a real human, which all of the most popular authors on our earth are inverts, right? All right. LOL, I say kids, GOAT, greatest of all time. Yay. I don't really have a problem with goats in general. I kind of think they're really cute, and it's sad that they are demonized because of all of the Satanism stuff. So anyways, Plus, if the child's a Capricorn, then it is a go, right? Anyways, creator of this design left a signature. Yes, sign nature. I like that. Absolutely true. Even our DNA, the fact that all these same building blocks are used across multiple different species is like, the more that you research science, real science, the more obvious it becomes that we were intelligently designed, right? So yeah, I'm kind of really worried about not having my car key right now. So I think I should probably go look for it before it gets too late. And plus I've been sitting in this room here. Okay. So what day is it today? Today is Sunday. I plan on being back here on Wednesday at 3:33. If you have any specific topics that you want me to discuss, definitely let me know, whether it's here or in the comment section, or on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And I really appreciate you guys joining me on this beautiful day. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and may God and the Goddess bless you.